Parents put all their hopes and dreams and fears into you. They love you and you're precious to them. Your flesh is theirs. They want to spare you some hardships, but the hardships are the things that shape you, and those are the rites of passage. Every summer, when I was a little girl growing up in Texas, there were millions of fireflies. I would go out and collect this whole jar of fireflies. I would make this little lantern to find my way back home. I would show it to Madge, and she would say, "Oh, it's beautiful, but now we have to let them go. We want them to keep lighting everything." And we would just watch until every one of them had flown away. Every child starts to understand that your parent will die one day. So I asked her, please, to wait for me. And she promised to wait for me. I was her family, she was my family. My mother was very independent. That came from the fact that she was a divorced woman. She was very aware of how people viewed her, and thus me. She was very much a disciplinarian as well. I mean, very much so. We had a very affectionate relationship. Of course, that changed as I became a teenager, a hateful, resentful teenager. In fact, it did get very bad. She sat me down one day and she said, "I can't do this anymore. You either have to stop being so mean, or I'm going to sell everything we have and put you in boarding school, and when you're 18, you're on your own." This was not an idle threat. Not only would I lose everything, but I would lose my mother. It scared the doodle out of me. And I changed overnight. She would say, "You know, just because you're born into a family doesn't mean you have to like them." And for a couple of months, we didn't even talk. As she saw me become more independent, she knew that the day was coming when I would leave. And I did leave. I had to leave. I'm really not a small town gal. So I went to New York to seek my fortune, and there I found it. I never expected to have this rather magical, incredible life. So much richer than I ever would have thought because of photography. All over the world, you make friends, and they become your brothers and your sisters. You have an opportunity to choose your family. If I could change anything, I probably wouldn't have left Madge alone so much after she retired. She became extremely lonely, and in the loneliness, she went a little mad. My mother would have been very happy for me to come and just live with her and take care of her and shut the door to the world, and I couldn't do that. I think that really contributed to her demise. I didn't recognize that, or I didn't want to recognize it. Was I irresponsible? Was I a bad daughter? And these are all questions I still ask myself. Maybe my mother wouldn't have had dementia. She might not have fallen into it as quickly.
Oh, good girl, good girl. Okay, oh, goodness me. Okay. There, now you're awake. Hello, beautiful. Mwah. My little beautiful woman. Okay, here we go. Gently, 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 gently. Oh.
Around the age of 76, she started to suffer memory loss and start to get very confused. And then one day, I got a call from the Austin police. They said, "Your mother called us. She was very disoriented. All the doors were open. There's cat shit everywhere. So we've taken her to the psych ward at the local hospital. And you need to come right away. And to be honest, until Madge sort of lost it, I couldn't move her. It was too hard. She wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. So this psychotic episode allowed us to make that move. When she realized where she was and what I had done, she slapped me so hard, it almost knocked me down. She was furious and said, you're dumping me. Memory is everything. Memory is the description of your life. Dementia happens in stages. Long-term memories you can still recall, but immediate memories like 1 minute ago or yesterday are just gone. You can sit with somebody and literally answer the same question 50 times. You want to scream. It's very hard not to lose your patience, but the person literally cannot remember that they even asked the question. And so I spent the next 3 or 4 days with my mother nonstop. Within 10 days, she just blossomed. She was completely different. She became kinder and more gentle. These lines fell from her face and she was happy, and she had this long hair and the women at the place would fix it up. She got dressed up every day and people were nice to her. And even she started looking like, really cool and kind of like a movie star almost. This was like a reawakening for her. At some point in this voyage that we were on, all these windows and doors suddenly were flung open and all these barriers came down. All of these things that I think drove us apart fell away. It's like all is forgiven. All because of this crazy disease. So in a way, dementia gave me the mother I always wanted. It was very lovely for a year, but then things started happening. She was starting to hallucinate. Like one night, she woke up in the middle of the night and started waking everybody up and saying, there's a fire, there's a fire. Finally, things got a little bit too bad. So I had to move her to a locked facility. And that was one of the worst moments of my life, to think that I was going to lock my mother up, because I know that I would want it. I would rather be dead. And the idea that I would have to lock her up, just, I don't know. I know it's kind of silly, like, okay, it's safer for her, But it just kills you, it kills you, it just kills you.
I love you. You know that I love you?
Then I found this place called Midtown Manor, and I could relax because I knew she was in good care.
You know you are a pretty lady.
The caregivers were amazing.
Who is the princess? Tell me. You are the princess? You are my little princess? Huh? Who is the princess, mommy? Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. 1, 2, 3.
Out of my heart brings back those memories when we were kids on the corner of the street. But oh, how we could harmonize. Out of my heart, met friends were dearer than. Too bad we had to part. I know.
The remember one caregiver, Minadora, and she became very protective of Madge.
You are hungry? Huh? You are hungry? Tell yes. Yes. Tell yes.
There were times, I have to admit, where I thought about these women are with my mother more than I am. She even probably feels closer to them than she does to me now. Maybe she doesn't even know who I am. Minadora, I'm sure, prolonged Madge's life. She just fell in love with her. And I think also, maybe in a way, Madge was her mother, you know? She was lucky. In the end, she got a very nice little family. And I did too.
It's too big. Don't count. Because it's turned around her arm twice.
But see how hard she's breathing?
Mm-hmm.
She normally doesn't breathe that hard. On her 89th birthday, I noticed that her heart was really racing, like 180 beats a minute.
Everybody asked me in the dining room about your mommy. Yes? Huh? Yes? She wanna say something. She listened to us. I love you so much. You are very deep in my heart. You know that? You know that, I know.
During that week, some of the residents would come up and visit. People would bring her flowers. It was very sweet.
There's a kiss from Beverly.
I didn't realize how connected people were to her.
Thank you, Beverly.
I had to make a decision whether to send Madge to the hospital or whether to keep her there. It's like having to say, well, you live or you die. If I send her to the hospital, maybe she'll live, but then she would have all these tubes in her, and I know she doesn't want that. I have to tell you, this is a remarkable decision you have to make. And because you know the time is here, you know, it's time to die. And it changes you, you know. There's your life before that, and your life after that, and I don't think you're ever quite the same. The thing I worried about from the time I was 5 until then was coming true. I just kept talking to her and comforting her and telling her how much I loved her. I was watching her disappear before my eyes. You have to tell them they can go. That's the last thing you want to say. You want to say, stay, don't go yet. I just rocked her until she took her last breath. That is the worst thing that I'll ever live through. But I also have to say that it is the most incredible thing I will ever do with my life, because I was there and I so wanted to be there. It was a very beautiful death. Being there when the person who gave you life is going is, I don't know how you could ask for anything greater. Dementia was very liberating for her. I don't know that she could ever see who I really was, but I suddenly saw who she was. Not as Madge, my mother, but as Madge. It was an honor to be her daughter. She has to go on, and I have to stay. The fireflies are flying away. But I'll have this wonderful lantern to find my way to her one day.